Halbrand is none other than the Witch King of Angmar. I'm calling it here first, ladies and gentlemen. He's the Witch King. He's the Witch King. He's not Sauron. There's too many red herrings for that. But he is the Witch King. At least I think he's the Witch King. We're going to discuss that today. The hows and whys and so on and so forth. I'm Tim Anderson, aka Renfail, the bearded dwarven princess. There's a lot going on with the character of Halbrand. I previously referred to him as the budget Aragorn, although slightly evil. And there's a lot of things going on here where Amazon is pushing this sort of we want you to think that he's Sauron or that he could be Sauron. He's not for a lot of different reasons, but he absolutely could be, and I think he is going to be by the end of the show. The Witch King himself, the leader of the Nazgul. Here's why. We're going to get into that, or at least here's the version that they're going to come up with and that they're on a path towards. If you haven't ever tuned into one of my videos, get ready, wade in. But before we do, thanks to all of these people for supporting the channel. You too can support. It's really simple. Drop a super thanks down there for $2, $5, whatever you can throw at the channel. Consider me your Disney Plus, your Hulu, your HBO, whatever you want to call it. Join as a member of the Adventurers Guild and stick around at the end because we're going to talk about the other ways that you can support as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon as well so you never miss an update. So we're going to go over once again to the Tolkien Gateway, and there's a lot of good information here about the Witch King. But the big thing is that the Witch King himself has never actually been named. No one knows who he is. We just know that he was the chief of the Nazgul, king of Angmar, and Sauron's greatest captain in the wars. He's a wraith. The Witch King of Angmar, himself being nearly indestructible, was a terrifying warrior and a cunning strategist. Now, it says here that sometime after Sauron seized the Rings of Power in the sack of Eregion around Second Age 1697, he gave 9 of the rings to mannish kings, sorcerers, and other warriors. With the power of the rings, the 9 achieved glory and grew wealthy, eventually hating life as they were slowly drawn under Sauron's dominion. In the end, they became the dreadful Ring Wraiths. The one known later as the Witch King was one of these, probably one of the unnamed 3 lords of Numenor to take the rings, theoretically. He first appeared in the histories as a ring wraith in Second Age 2251. Being the most powerful of the Nazgul, he became their chief and the most feared servant of his master Sauron. When Mordor fell in Second Age 3441, the Nazgul vanished into shadows and were not heard of again for a long time, until more than 1,000 years later in 1050 of the Third Age, when Sauron began to rebuild his power in Dol Guldur, and in 1300 his Nazgul reappeared, and the Witch King established the realm of Angmar in the north, which is how he becomes to be known as the Witch King of Angmar during the Third Age. But before that, who was he? All that's known is that he was one of 9 men, kings, sorcerers, and other warriors. Here's why I think Halbrand is the Witch King. So we obviously know that Halbrand has this backstory. He's the descendant of the kings of the south who pledged themselves to Morgoth back in the day during the previous war. Now, up until this point in the show, the red herrings that we've been thrown are all in the sense of, look at him, he's willing to throw people under the bus, he's not really a noble dude, he's definitely out for himself and only for himself, he has a fascination with smithing, he is a great negotiator, he's good at getting himself out of a scrape, although he can get himself thrown in jail from time to time. He's a great fighter, so he's a great warrior, and he has a mysterious background. But he's also very cunning, very astute, very intelligent. And all of these combine into things that make a man very dangerous. And he is definitely a dangerous character. Now, we also know that he's running from something in the south. And I've got another video that's going to be coming out after this, which is going to talk about what he's running from. Because I don't think he's actually running from the orcs themselves. I think that was a secondary thing. There's another reason that he's on the run, and it's really important, and it's going to tie into this. And I think it's where they're putting this story arc of some of these characters. But I don't want to spoil it, so you're gonna have to stick around for that. So don't forget to tune in because we got more coming. But now that he's on his way back, we already know that that Halbrand has worked his way into the good graces of Galadriel. Remember the boat scene when she's drowning, and they threw that scene in there literally so that Galadriel would feel bonded to him, so that she could have her own crisis of faith later on when he betrays her and goes off and does these super evil things. Now, the reason I don't think he is Sauron, and I think that he's actually the Witch King, is the fact that there's one, too many red herrings, but also two, Sauron, they would have to be. I mean, obviously, Amazon has not been following the lore completely, but they also haven't completely gone off book with what they have followed. They have invented new characters, that's for sure, but they've also stuck fairly faithfully to the lore when it comes to things like Elrond and his brother, their father, so on and so forth. I think they would be hard pressed to completely change the events of how Sauron came to be in Numenor, because so far we're seeing that even though it was the Queen Regent who declared war, and she's going to go off now and take the troops to Middle Earth, when in the book versions that we know of that they don't have the rights to is Farazon. Um, they capture Sauron in Middle Earth and then bring him back to Numenor, and that's when the seduction begins, and so on and so forth. But it's not until that happens that Numenor really begins its descent. So they have to capture Sauron on the other side in Middle Earth, which is why I don't think that Halbrand could be that character. Now, of course, I could be proven wrong in all of this, but the reason I think that he is the Witch King himself is because he is a descendant of kings. And we know for a fact that the Witch King himself, the leader of the Nazgul, was one of the kings, sorcerers, and warriors that were recruited and given rings of power by Sauron during the sacking, after the sacking of Eregion. Um, I think because of his bloodline that he is going to be the chosen one for Sauron, because he's going to be, Galadriel has it in her mind that he's going to be the one who unites the southern realms to fight against Sauron alongside Numenor. But I think he's going to get back and he's going to start to get a feel for power and the taste of, hey, I'm the king of all these people and it's my blood right. And Sauron's back and he's offering me all these wealth and riches and so on and so forth. And I think he's going to go ahead and continue that fall and become the king of the south, and he's going to align himself with Sauron as the prime of the Nazgul over the course of, it might not be the course of the first season, it might be the first couple seasons, but I think that's the storyline for Halbrand. Now, there's more to it than that. There's a lot more to it than that, and a lot of this was covered in episode 4, which just aired recently and I did a review of. So I'm going to be covering that in the next episode, so make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon, because tomorrow's episode, is it tomorrow? It'll either be tomorrow or Wednesday. The next episode that I do here in the Rings of Power rant series is going to be about some other people that are tied to Halbrand, and the reason it's going to be a continuation of why I think Halbrand is the Witch King and what he's really running from. They could be crazy theories, but if I'm proven true, we'll see. We'll see. We'll just you need to wait and see. Don't forget also, I do the Mondays in Middle Earth show every Monday at 11 a.m. So make sure to tune into those as I read through The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion, so that I can properly analyze this and beyond. So tune into those. And if you want to support the channel, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, drop a super thanks here for a few bucks, whatever you can contribute. It's a great way to say thanks, and consider me your Netflix or something of the kin by joining with a membership down there. You can also, however, go to our Patreon page. Links are down below. It's all about the world of the Weave and the Void, which is a fantastical world that I'm creating with my wife and my brother and some friends. We have a 5th edition tabletop setting, a point-and-click adventure game, a fantasy book series, and beyond. And you can always tune into a live stream, because I stream video games here on my channel every single day. So hopefully we'll see you in a live stream and in the next episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. And what do you think about Halbrand down below? What do you think about this theory? Any merit to it? Let's go. Look forward to hearing your guys' conversations. Cheers, everybody.